it's me. Welcome back. Okay, so we are ready to prepare for our first week of mommy camp. With all good things, it requires you to have some level of planning. And so everyone plans a little differently. I am a lover of a pencil so that I can erase and a template. And so I found this template online, and it's broken down by the days of the week, and it allows me to put topics that I want to cover for the week on the side. And I'm kind of just going to walk you through what this week looks like. So, because we're living in such racially and politically charged times, I think it's super important, especially raising brown children, from them to have a unit that starts off that focuses on them. And so this unit is called Who Are You and Where Do You Come From? And the answer is simple. You come from a rich African culture, and our history does not begin with slavery, even though the textbooks want to start our history there. So I spent a lot of time thinking about what kind of things I wanted to discuss with my 4 and 8-year-old, while still allowing them to have some level of innocence. And I decided to start the week with a read aloud, a map study, and some activities. So this is what we're doing. Okay, so let's get started. Day 1. Everyone's schedule is a little bit different. I know for me, my meetings usually are around like 10 or 11 or 12. Some days there are more meetings than there are others. There's work that Mason can do independently that Cameron cannot do independently. And so, of course, this is not a one-size-fits-all. You definitely use these activities how you see fit, and you incorporate them into your life where they make the most sense. So because I want to ground this week, again, our Who Are You, Where Do You Come From unit, I want to have some read alouds that they both can like listen to and ask questions about. So I'm starting today, Monday, with Yatandou. And it's a book about a little girl who lives in Mali. And it basically describes like her life in Mali, the jobs of all the people who live in her village, and the dream of owning a machine that will grind millet. Now, if you don't have time to order this, you can check and see if your library has an option for online version, or you can see if there's a YouTube version, because a lot of books are read aloud online from teachers who have done it for their classes. So this was just a beautiful book that is grounded in a country in Africa. So I wanted to start there. And then after we read this book, I have 2 copies of just a blank map of Africa. And so Mason's old enough to be able to label the countries, which he'll do, because Africa is more than just one of the largest continents. It's covered in a wide variety of countries that each have their own culture that they need to know about. And so Cam will just color. And so that's kind of like my guided instruction for the day, because after this, especially for Mason for this time period, I'm going to leave him to something independent so that I can, check up on work or do some work. And so that's how I'll start the day. My kids love a check off. They just love checking off things. That's how I know that they're my children, because I too love checking things off. So I've created a clipboard with their schedule on it. And our schedule, like I said, will change from one week to the other, but it reflects like where we have time, and the things that they're going to do next. Because I know if you have kids, it's like, what? And then what? And then what? And then what? Well, my checklist allows them to know what's coming up next. So the next part of that, what I'm calling the independent reading block, after we've read and they've done their map study, I'm sending Mason off to do his own independent reading. We are reading the Who Was books. They're great if your kid can read independently, like order them and have them have at it. So this week Mason's reading Who Was Harriet Tubman? And I found this template on Teachers Pay Teachers. It aligns with all of the Who Was books. He read Martin Luther King last week. And I just took some time on Sunday to tab off like where he needed to stop each day, and then use this guide along with it. So like you read, and then you fill out the pages. So it's got like some really cool pages on here, like the basics, like what this character said. This was the childhood page. Let's learn more. And you don't have to use all of these pages. You can just pick the ones. Overcoming obstacles. We're not done with the book yet. That's why this page is blank. VIP, very important people that he's come across in the book. And so this is just allowing him to put his thoughts on paper. One thing about my 8-year-old, he is a lazy reader and a lazy writer, which is why I'll spend most of our summer instruction reinforcing reading and writing. And because like I need him to read independently, but I can't always sit there with him, I also give him one of my old phones and he records himself reading just so I know that he actually read. And so like he's able to do this by himself. So I hand him off and see you later. And like I said, this week we're reading Who Was Harriet Tubman, because this is going to touch a little bit on slavery, because I'm not spending like every day next week talking about slavery. While he's doing that, the 4-year-old will sit at the table and he has his own little booklet. Last week, we are working on letter C. And so this week he'll have his practice sheet. We will talk about the sound that the letter makes and then create a list of words that start with that letter. So this week I'm focusing on the letter O, the O sound, and I have, and we'll just create a list of words that start with O. While the 8-year-old is working, if he finishes this work, then he has free choice. I have puzzles, I have like noodles, he's got some magazines, he's got some other puzzles that he can work on, he can color, but he's doing that stuff independently until the time is up. And I'm setting like an hour for them to do this. And then after that, they have educational free time where they can watch PBS Kids. PBS Kids has tons of great things on Apple TV, as I'm sure you all know. But like they're not allowed to watch Netflix or YouTube or any nonsense television. It has to be something that they're going to learn something about. And the last part of our day is science. Okay, so science. I don't know how many of you out there get gifts from people that have 100 million pieces or make a lot of noise, or my favorite, are alive. We've gotten fish for gifts. Somebody gave us a hermit crab one year, but a couple years ago, my parents of the godparents for my kids gave them this kit called Boom Fun with Science. Of course, they ripped the box open, they were ready to start playing with it, and as soon as I saw all the million pieces that were inside of it, I took it, hid it, and completely forgot about it. But because we're in COVID and I needed something else to kind of like fill our day and also be like engaging and keep their attention, I pulled the box out. And little did I know, this was a dream come true. So inside there's this book and it has an experiment for every day. And so we're basically doing an experiment a day. The great thing about this is that it comes with all of the supplies labeled and ready to go. So at nap time, when my 4-year-old lays down for a nap, I don't know if anybody else's 4-year-old's having a hard time taking naps. Mine fights me every single day. So if you are in that boat, you are not alone. Every day. We've been home 100 plus days, and every single day it is, can you lay with me? Can you rub me? Can you be with me? No, go to sleep. So we will do a science activity every day. It tells you the stuff that you need. And because like I said before, my 8-year-old hates to write, I am making him record his observations. We did the first experiment the other day, the incredible expanding beads. And I just set up a notebook for his prediction, his conclusion, a picture of like what happened before and what happened after. And again, I do the pre stuff on Sunday. I just set up the reading for the week. I set up the notebook for science for the week so that when it's time to do it, the stuff is already set up. I am not paid to, nobody's paying me to talk about Boom Fun with Science. It just happens to be something that I'm using. I know they're backed up online in terms of orders on Amazon, but it's amazing because everything is right there. And so that's the first day. In between, I have a water table. They have squirters. They are watching movies. My husband takes them out every day to ride their bikes and to get out of the house for a little bit. But for the most part, like during the work day, this is what our day kind of looks like. So I hope this is helpful for the first day. Leave your comments below. Let me know what worked, what didn't work. Maybe you're trying something different. Maybe you have a different book. Teamwork makes the dream work. And I look forward to meeting each of you every day right here on Mocha Mommy Camp 2020 so that we can keep these kids engaged and not go crazy in the process. Until tomorrow, have a good one.